Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Here we are, 39 wins. We got Eden's Blessing, and thank God we have Eden's Blessing. Let me hydrate a little. FCAV to EOB. Well, I don't know if I would say thank God we got Eden's Blessing. Keep moving. That was a terrible start. And it's my fault. I took it for granted. I honestly believed, without a shadow of a doubt, that we had, wait what? But we need to get a item pedestal to get wait what. So this'll wake you up more than any iced coffee, let me tell you that. Losing half of your HP when you only got 2? It's a very dangerous time. And the run is, like, it's not a good start. But I will say, although it's so dangerous, I'm still, like, asking myself, what do we prefer? Do we want to use the pill? We should be okay. And it would be nice to actually crack you open up here. Well, an attempt was made. I think we use it. That's fine. Of all the stat downgrades we could have gotten, that's amongst the better ones. Love that you are out of sync with your jumps. Love that you leave a creep as well. We can make wait what, by the way. We just need to get to a situation where we get an item pedestal. We can click, we can pick it up, put it down. Pick it up, put it down. Pick it up, put it down. Like a ska concert. So we're really, really, really hoping for the means at some point on this floor to just get some safety. Just a little bit of HP changes the game completely. We can breathe, we can relax. We can enjoy life slightly. Like a bomb and a key so we can get into the shop. Or, you know, blow up a tinted rock or something along these lines. We gotta try the other pill, in my opinion. That's not great, obviously. This is... Brittle Bones does give us survivability. So I would say, honestly, at the risk of sounding a little casual maybe, I think we just got out of the mire. That's an extremely important pickup. Now, I want to, for my own sanity, I want to try to not get hit again on this floor. Or until we get, like, a spirit heart. Just to prove that we weren't saved. You know, now we've got, like, a little bit of a confidence. There we go. So, look. We didn't need it, but I'm very glad we got it. Oh, but according to the butterfly effect, a single butterfly flapping its wings in Peoria, Illinois could cause World War III to happen. Yeah, okay. Or it could cause you to poop your pants like a big baby. I mean, I'm just saying, if you believe in the butterfly effect, then, you know, a butterfly flapping its wings in Jakarta, Indonesia could lead to you pooping your pants like a big baby, right? I mean, if you're such a man of science, you must contend that in one of the multiverses, you're pooping your pants like a big baby, right? Oh, hey, hold on. I didn't mean it like that. I'm not gonna poop my pants or whatever. What am I talking? I don't know what I'm talking about. Just get me out of here. Let's take care of this. Obviously, the more red hearts we could get fast, the happier I would be. That was a great shot, dude, and for sure we'll take advantage of that. I would not mind spending our bomb, because there's no other tinted rocks anyway. Spend our bomb to get in here. And then, I thought about maybe buying a red heart. Let's see what we get first. Because a bomb, like if we get bombs from the boss, we might be able to get to like tarot cloth. In fact, I would say like even 2 bombs in most circumstances will get us to tarot cloth. Butterbean, dude. Wait, what is like a little underwhelming, and I know a lot of people disagree with me. How could something unlimited be underwhelming? Well, you know, if it's not worth that much, having infinity of it doesn't really change that. Like, think of a food you don't like. You know, for me, it's like mushrooms, you know? I'm not a big fan of mushrooms. I do eat them regularly in the hopes that one day that will change. But, you know, maybe you're not a big fan of squash. Would you consider having unlimited squash to be a burden or a blessing? Well, it's a blessing up to a point if you're hungry. We'll just bounce out of here, I think. It would be nice, you know, I wouldn't turn down unlimited food, but at some point, you'd probably still be like, man, I could really just go for like a slice of pizza right now. That being said, Butterbean is more along the lines of like unlimited inedible dirt. Very occasionally, like on a room like this, for example, it can do some good work for you. But I'm just still kind of stunned and very, very happy, don't get me wrong, but a little stunned that we're doing as well as we are. We really picked up one of maybe like the 5% of the items in the game that would have immediately made us this confident. Okay, so we're going to execute a little square dance there to not get hit. It's becoming quite clear that this is not a great place for us to be. And we're gonna need a lot of everything. We need a little rate of fire, maybe a lot of rate of fire. We need a little damage. We don't need a lot of damage, we just need a little damage. But it's gonna become very difficult for us to dodge these enemies in that situation. I actually thought we did a pretty good job on that room. And Swallowed Penny actually made it like a relatively appealing trade-off. Took a little damage, but we took half a Spirit Heart of damage and got 1 Spirit Heart's worth of fiduciary recompense. I think we still prefer this for now. And this could be very good. Really small rock is what we're looking for. And we definitely prefer Bob's Rotten Head here. Although, now that I think about it, are we willing to... Maybe this is where you put your money where your mouth is. Because Bob's Rotten Head is better than Butterbean, but it is worse than Wait What. Instead of having unlimited bombs, but at least you can throw them, you have limited bombs. Wait, I've got it backwards, but you get what I mean. Wait What, I will say, better than Bob's Rotten Head. Takes us as long as it takes us here. It's well worth it. Just testing it now and then to make sure it's still going. It does work, right? I'm not a fool here. Do we have to leave and come back? I've heard people talk about this as if it's a thing. I'm begging you. I mean, this is an example of trying to do the little things right. If at any point you'd like to provide me with unlimited bombs, I mean, is this a blind spot in my knowledge? I thought this is how this worked. It's not like I'm worried about getting the boss rush. Just it's well worth. You know, while this is happening, just give me a moment here. Turning, I'm googling Butterbean into how to turn Butterbean into Wait What. It has a small chance to turn into the item upon item pickup. If you pick up Butterbean 20 times, it will transform. Whoa, ladies and gentlemen! We've done it. Alrighty. What a good use of both of our time. We get 1 life on planet Earth, and a little chunk of it right there is never coming back. And then we'll also lose quite a lot of it waiting for it to be charged. But that's actually like a necessary gameplay mechanic. That makes a lot of sense. I really thought we could make it out. I'll take responsibility for that one. Anyway. Today is Sunday. I'm looking forward to playing some more FMV games today. Without a doot. Really enjoyed a little trip down memory lane with the FMV games. It's tough though to find the right FMV game. It's a lot like, and this, it sounds rude. I actually do want to like walk it back just for a second and say like, although really like a lot of those FMV games, especially from early, you know, basically from the Sega CD era. Although a lot of them are truly, truly terrible in just about every aspect of the word. Like, I don't want to say badly programmed, because that one, I don't know. They do seem to work at least. But, you know, design, acting, script, it's all, like, pretty much close to the bottom of the barrel for media in general. But the people involved, and when we watch, like, the behind the scenes of things like Night Trap and Corpse Killer and Double Switch, like, the behind the scenes really illuminates that these are really talented, like, professional people who were doing an experiment, and the experiment did not turn out very well. Honestly, I think that's our play. It might have turned out well financially. I mean, I actually, I don't know. I don't think so, but Night Trap maybe was a little successful, but the rest I don't believe so. Regardless, where was I coming at this one from? Oh yeah, so I am looking for stuff that's so bad it's good. However, like, what's a very interesting thing is it's a lot like looking for movies that are so bad they're good. If you're seeing a movie that knows it's bad, it's not as good to watch it. Like, I've long maintained, The Room is a classic. No dissent there. Everything that has been made in the vein of The Room since The Room is pretty bad, in my opinion. That's a big ace of hearts here. And I'll go a step further. I really, the one, like, so-called so bad it's good movie that never resonated for me at all was Birdemic. I really felt like Birdemic was trying to be so bad it's good, and as a result, a lot of the humor was actually, like, lost on me, believe it or not. So, finding the perfect FMV game is very difficult, because, like, last week, can you just, like, get hit? Last week we played Dark Knights with Poe and Monroe, which is from the Shapeshifting Detective development team. And, like, I'll tell you, I do not believe that that game is very good, but it's got its own charm, for sure. But it was just kind of like playing it, I wouldn't say it felt weird, but it was just like, I don't really want to dunk on this game. I don't think we'll pick that up, honestly. I don't want to dunk on this game because it's, you know, a real product for sale that only recently came out. But at the same time, I just, like, don't think it's particularly good. But I'm not like one of those reviewers who's like, oh, you know, how did they make this? It's much more guilt-free to play something that came out, you know, 27 years ago. I'll tell you, dude, when I was a kid, I thought the Sega CD was the future for sure. You gotta be real careful here. Just relax. Relax yourself and let the sugar love flow. You know that song? It's by Camp Lo. Oh, you don't know Camp Lo? Oh, sorry, I thought I was talking to a scholar of music. I guess not. Hold on. That's not a secret room? I'm really, like, waiting for this run to pop. It should be there pretty soon. We got one guppy item. This will be a great floor, like a very, very well-timed floor to beat those deal with the devil odds and really get this one to move into the 20th century. I'll even use a... I mean, we got unlimited bombs. We might as well use our poison bombs for aggression. Don't lose your deal with the devil chance here. I know this guy's kind of hard to hit. Grandfather? It is a grandfather fly. I don't remember the last time I uttered the phrase grandfather fly. It's not a phrase, Mom. Okay, we did beat the odds. You love to see it. You want this first so you don't lose a bone heart in case things go wrong in here. And, I think it'll only cost us one spirit heart. Yeah, and we definitely want succubus. It's not even close. If you dropped a spirit heart, I would take a thame. So succubus is really good. We do need items to complement it to really get it to pop off, but it's definitely keeping us in the mix here. No doubt about that. But yeah, I thought, I don't know if I thought FMV was the future, but I thought, like, FMV was definitely a way of the future. Now, all I'm gonna say is if you weren't like alive back then, if you weren't tuned in to what was happening in the gaming industry, you can't comment. Because obviously, that's not the way that went down. But you gotta remember, back then, you know, I mean, just go look at games that came out contemporaneous with something like, you know, Night Trap, and you'll understand. You'll understand 100% why people were, like, thinking FMV could be good. They were, at the time, like photorealistic graphics. Now the video quality is not good, but that's okay because literally like 360p would have been more high def than any video you could get at home, like by far, unless you were like, you know, Howard Hughes. Interlacing was the name of the game. I'm not picking that up. Are you insane? Like, I'll tell you, the way that and this is, if you grew up in, like, the 50s or 60s or, you know, in a different part of the world, you may laugh at this, and it is legitimately, like, a first world problem. But, like, when I watched TV as a kid, I was not watching, you know, 4K video on my phone. I was watching, Everybody Loves Raymond on antenna on a 19-inch TV that was like 15 feet away from me. It's a wonder my eyes work at all. Or I don't know, maybe that's what made them stronger. Not that I have good eyes, but it could always be worse, I suppose. I don't know. Sometimes I think about it. You know, like, and this is very much not a... Oh, kids these days don't know... Oh. Kids these days don't know how good they have it. But, like, you ever wonder what your... like, what small changes your childhood would have, you know, been through? It almost makes sense. If you were able to watch whatever you wanted to watch from, you know, age 5, instead of having to watch whatever your parents were watching on TV. Don't get me wrong, I think my parents did a fantastic job. Got my sense of humor from Everybody Loves Raymond, what it means to be a friend from the television program Friends, and etc., etc. We've already been in there. We've already been in there. Plus, we can't pick it up anyway. That's right. But at the same time, sometimes, you know, we hang out with our in-laws. Then our nieces, you know, they're being raised to have limited screen time, which I think is, you know, very sensible, and another thing you have to contend with that you didn't have to contend with as much when I was a kid. But at the same time, when they have, like, you know, an hour, 30 minutes of iPad time or whatever, they can watch whatever they want to watch. You might be thinking that it's a good thing, and maybe it is, but I'm going to take the opposite position for humor's sake. Instead of watching something that might force them to leave their comfort zone, and I know that sounds like, you know, a little Monka-esque, but what I mean is, like, you know, sometimes when I watch television shows with my parents, I'd be like, I want to watch, you know, Polka Dot Door. And my parents would be like, you can watch Polka Dot Door a little later, but for now the news is on. So I was forced to watch stuff that was maybe a little bit above my comprehension for a while, but maybe that caused my comprehension to grow, right? Instead of that, my nieces watch a lot of, like, the same YouTube video over and over. Where is Lion? Where is Lion? Here I am. Here I am. Lions make a big roar. Lions make a big roar. 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 And then they'll show, and it's cute, don't get me wrong, but they'll breathlessly show you the iPad and be like, have you seen this? This is incredible. This is one of the most beautiful pieces of art mankind has ever deigned to create. It's the Sistine Chapel, Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian, and Where is Lion? It's the holy trinity of media. So I don't know, maybe there's good and bad. I gotta read. I mean, like, you gotta read the baby book. Everybody's like, you gotta read the baby book. I agree. I genuinely think. Look, don't let me. If you didn't read the baby books, I'm not gonna be like, you must be a bad parent, because it's just ridiculous for me to say, right? Here's what I'm gonna say. if you have an aversion to reading the baby book, and you're like, nah, let's try it. That's good. Speed down, but everything else got better, I think. If you have an aversion to reading the baby book, I think that says something about you. You're like, yeah, I'm committed to, like, raising my child as well as possible, but, like, if the cost is reading a book that might... Come on, those are pretty breezy. It might take me, like, 10 or 12 hours to finish, then I'm not interested. No, I don't think that's, I think that reflects a little poorly on you and is perhaps, if nothing else, a cause for a little self-reflection. But a lot of people have been like, you haven't read the baby books yet? Brother, we got a lot of time, okay? I'm not trying to leave this to the last minute. It's more like, I'd rather have it be fresh in my head when the baby gets here. It's, September could be like, I'm on call. At any given moment, I could be asked to, put some of that theory into practice. But we're still in June. The baby book is not, I don't want to say it's not relevant yet, but it's not at peak relevancy. There's still plenty of time. It's like teaching someone to drive when they're like, 12 years old. I mean, yeah, they're gonna have to learn how to drive at some point. But like, if you got other things going on in your life, you can wait another few years. You don't get bonus points for figuring it out early. In fact, your bonus point might be, a ticket from the police. What a slow run, by the way. But wait, more than just a baby book of like how to, raise your baby. You need to read a book about like modern parenting. Because this is all, technology moves so fast that I'm like, look, hear me out. I'm sure you figure it out. Everybody figures it out on the go. I'm not assuming you're going to have all the information. But, like, we literally have no concept except hunches of, like, how much screen time is appropriate for a child to have at any given age. Like, if your kid is, like, 2, how often should they, like, use an iPad, for example? Never? 20 minutes a day? I mean, 20 minutes is a lot to a small child. It's like 10% of their life. But, even though it seems very small. Like an hour a day? I don't know, an hour seems like kind of a lot. I'll level with you. I don't even know how many hours of the day, like, a 2-year-old is awake. I feel like the answer is, like, 12 hours. Get up at maybe, like, 7, go to bed around 7. That's my guess. I don't have a lot of memories from that era. I don't remember a lot of 1991. I mean, I was there when the Berlin Wall fell, but, I mean, if you remember it, you weren't really there. Very fond memories of my parents telling me about watching David Hasselhoff on CNN. Anyway. So I don't know. It's like other, like, I have operations level questions. If we're talking about the kid as if it's a business, I don't have, like, questions about, like, what's a good idea? How to market my idea? I have questions that are like, how do we build an office? My questions are like, at what age does your child eat human food, and how much human food should your child eat? I guess in some way, human beings are very good at being self-regulating. Not adults, really. And, like, I don't know. It's kind of a strange sentence, I guess, because human beings are obviously not perfect at self-regulation. We eat too much or drink too much or, sleep not enough or don't exercise at all, et cetera, et cetera. But I feel like when you're a kid, combination of, like, common sense and their own appetite goes a long way, right? Like, you're not gonna put, like, a whole turkey dinner down in front of a 3-year-old and they're gonna be like, I'm just gonna eat, They're gonna eat, like, 3 slices and be like, I'm done. I can't eat all this. Are you crazy? But anyway, I gotta read the book is what I gotta read the books. So we've been buying a lot of baby stuff. I know I mentioned in the last episode, I haven't really finished my train of thought. There's a lot of baby stuff to buy. I didn't realize there's like a huge YouTube baby / parenting community. I guess we're finally starting to become like aware of these, you know, like daddy and mommy blog stuff. And I want to be as clear as possible. When you look at what I do, I'm not in any position to be looking down at stuff that other people do. But I do also wonder sometimes. I mean, here's the thing. I think that actually this reflects more, not poorly, but strangely on me. Is I'm like, what do you do when, you know, your kid's 22 and you can't really be like you're going to make a channel that's about parenting a 22-year-old when they're in college or something? I'm not saying it can't work, but what are you going to be like? You know, what are your videos going to be called? How much calling is too much, you know? Like, at some point, it's got like an expiration date on it. But I guess, you know, if you're passionate about making those kinds of videos, maybe it's less about it being a business for you and more about like, hey, here's a way for me to help other parents that are in the same shoes, you know? That's a wholesome way to think about it. Sure. This room's not done. It is done. But I am also like there's this one channel. He seems like a super nice guy. But he does like stroller reviews. And sometimes I get overwhelmed by the amount of games in my inbox. I can't imagine if like every video required you to like review a stroller. Not to mention like, and this has never happened, but if I like totally whiff on a video and I'm like, you know, this game's really good, and then, you know, a bunch of people buy it and they're like, actually it sucks and I hate you. That's relatively minor. But if you're like, hey, I bought this, you know, $400 or $500 stroller because you recommended it, and when I put my baby in it, they fell out and, you know, broke their ankle on the sidewalk. You know, I feel like that's you've got a very solemn responsibility to do things exactly correctly when you're in that line of work. I respect it. I respect it. The toy reviews, not so much. And it's not a negative thing necessarily, but I am like, come on. I'm not trying to insult the other Ryan of YouTube, Ryan's toy reviews. No 12-year-old needs $75 million, okay? I've long been a proponent of the belief that child billionaires should not exist. It's just too much money. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with the, you know, again, so little is actually going on in life right now except for the impending, you know, reality of the pregnancy that we're like, you know, is an anecdotalist existence. Do you want to do some more, like, you know, lockdown relaxing stuff? Like the lockdown being relaxed? My grocery store for the first time since March has finally started accepting reusable bags again. And it's good, don't get me wrong. Using the reusable bags, it's just, you know, a 0.0001% thing you could do for the environment. But, like, yeah, why not, right? So I'm happy to be doing it again. So I walked into the grocery store, and when I was checking out, I was like, are you guys taking reusable bags again? And they said yes. So then I put my reusable bag on the countertop that was next to the cash register in order to be like, hold on. This is a big think moment. In order to be like, you know, I'm gonna bag the stuff on the countertop. And she said, sir, I do have to let you know we are asking that people do not leave their bag on the counter. I'm like, okay. So I put my bag on the concrete floor instead. Don't get me wrong. Look, contact tracing, I think it's a very shrewd idea. I think it's pretty sensible and even responsible, you know? Sir, are you trying to kill me by putting your reusable bag up on the countertop? That's one where I'm a little bit more like, I think that one, I'm not, you know, you're the place of business. I have no desire to do anything but lick the boot so that I can get my groceries at a what has been called by the market a fair and equitable price, even though it seems a little bit ridiculous for avocados to be so expensive. That's probably our play right there. That makes it real tough to lose, thankfully. But and again, any precaution is good up to a point. I'm not trying to, because I'm being very careful with my verbiage here, because, you know, all it takes is one, like, moment of ignorance, and all of a sudden people are like, oh, I get it. You're one of those people who's like, you know, actually the mask does no more harm than good. No, I'm not one of those people. Not at all. And I hope that by watching a lot of other videos of mine related to this subject, you could come to that conclusion yourself. But this is one where I was not offended, and I was happy to move the bag, but I was kind of running it through in my head. So I was like, what's the methodology here? It's okay to carry your bag that might have the virus into the store. No problem. But for the love of God, the bottom of that bag shall never, ever touch the top of the countertop of this. The sacred grocery store countertop, where 5,000 people a day come by and scratch their ear and... Okay, maybe I'm being a little bit too belligerent. I apologize. It's also, I don't know if anybody else is in this, if where you live is in this place yet, but, so for a long time in February, March, and May, well, more like March, April, May, because that's the way those months work, a lot of places, grocery stores, pharmacies, etc., started to get security guards. And basically, they would serve like bouncers, you know? They'd be like, there's only 25 people allowed in at any given time. So if you were 26, you waited at the door, and then somebody walked out, then you looked security in the face, and they'd go, you're good. And then you go in, and you're like, boom, bum, 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 bum. I'm gonna go buy some apricots at the hottest club. Now, they have security, because I'm assuming they hired them, like, on a, you know, month-to-month contract or something like that, but they don't really, like, do anything. I don't mean to be rude to the security personnel, who I'm like, you know, come on, make their pockets hurt. The grocery store can afford it. I know, I shop there. It's crazy. But at the same time, the security is just kind of, like, hanging outside on their phone, and, like, there's a sign when you go in that's, like, no more than 70 people allowed in this location at any given time. And I'm like, alright, but I don't know if there's 70 people inside, because I am not inside yet, so I guess I'll just walk in. It's like we're in this weird, like, pseudo-lockdown. Everybody's making their own rules. Yeah, we got security. The security doesn't really do anything except stand at the front. But, like, if you tried to, I don't know, if you tried to bring 71 people into the store at the same time, they'd probably be like, hold up. But it's like, it's relaxed, but it's still like, and I don't say like, oh, this is ridiculous, I can't believe what happened to modern society. It's more just like, you know, I'm making observations without judgment necessarily, because this is all new to me. Like we, hold the front door here. I really don't want to lose Succubus, but if you're gonna do this, you gotta go all the way in. We didn't lose Succubus, which is awesome. And actually getting the ability to fly probably justified that completely. Anyway. It's just unusual, and, you know, I'm not suggesting this is absurd. Well, you know, I am. It is absurd, but in, like, the Voltairean kind of definition of absurdity. Not in the way that it's unacceptable, but just in the way that it is kind of, silly is not the word I would use, but unusual given, you know, previous experience. You know, it's just, it's a time where everybody's figuring things out, and all I'm going to say really is that I'm sure I should have prefaced it by saying this. These are first world problems. We're very lucky that, at least for the time being, British Columbia is in a very good spot, honestly. Now, it could change, obviously, at the drop of a hat, and, you know, definitely I'm not like, ooh, wow, remember those COVID times? Those are weird, because, you know, 2020's got a way, It's got a way of making you humble, you know what I mean? And predominantly, like, the number one thing I'm concerned about is, I mean, obviously the health and safety of Kate and myself, especially Kate, as, you know, she's obviously pregnant right now. But then also, like, you know, this is my parents' first and maybe only grandchild. And, you know, they waited almost 32 years for it. They really want to be here in the windows surrounding the birth. And I would say there's more than a chance, you know, there's like a statistical likelihood that there will be some kind of second wave, and it'll probably be around the autumn. I'm not an epidemiologist, so take this with a grain of salt, but this is everything I've heard, is like we would expect after the summertime, especially, depending on public policy, that there'd be some kind of resurgence to some extent, whether greater or lesser. So, you know, at the end of the day, I would say it is what it is. I get very annoyed sometimes when people are like, you know, you should stay inside 100% in British Columbia, even though we have one case. And they take it as if I'm treating the lockdown flippantly. The truth is there's no lockdown here because there's one case. Now, hopefully this video doesn't age too badly. It'll get like, you know, on Monday, Bonnie Henry's going to be like, oh yeah, we had 300 cases. And then, you know, if that's the case, then I recant this statement, and obviously I'll be staying aside. But, you know, we're willing to sacrifice. A lot of people have sacrificed a lot. We're willing to, you know, because there's nothing else you can do. You know, we already gave up a trip that we were going to take to see my parents, who would have loved to have, you know, been there for the pregnancy. But now we're just kind of hoping that they can be here for the birth. But if they can't, it is what it is, you know? Chalk it up to unusual times, and we'll be disappointed, but also thankful that we live in a country that takes it seriously enough that they would have the courage to say, like, nah, you can't be in, you know, you can't travel at all right now in order to make sure that everybody can stay safe. Because it's important, don't get me wrong, that they be there, but there are things that are more important. They could always drive. It's a long trip. It would be like a 4 or 5 day drive, but they could always drive. Anyway, so yeah, that's that. Really, like, and I hope, you know, you're living in a part of the world where it's good, or at least you're good yourself. And if you're not, I wish you the best. But, you know, there is some absurdity to highlight as one of the parts of the world that is like, you know, easing the lockdown but still having restrictions. Every kind of place you go to is like going to a restaurant for the first time, or going to a store for the first time. You know, when you walk into a store or like a deli and you're like, do I order on the left? Do I order at the right? Do I stand here? Oh, you can't touch a drink before you buy it. Okay, you just gotta tell them what drink to get. Like, when Kate and I got lunch yesterday, I already told you about the contact tracing, but you are, not allowed might not be the word, but you are discouraged from standing up to go use the bathroom. Instead, you get the waitress's attention, and then you say, can I go to the bathroom right now? Like you're in 3rd grade. And then they go check and see if it's unoccupied, and then you go to it. I'm sorry, so look, I take this situation very seriously as well, as you know from having watched, you know, my videos this year. But that is hilarious. It can be a good precaution and simultaneously hilarious to watch a, you know, a 55-year-old man put up his hand in a restaurant and be like, I want to go to the bathroom. If you can't find the humor in that, you gotta look a little deeper in yourself, in my opinion. Because I was cracking up. Not openly, because I was worried that he was gonna fight me, but, you know. Sometimes, so it's telling that the #1 reaction there would be people being like, you know, oh, you're worried you couldn't beat up a 55-year-old man with a full bladder? No, it's more like I just don't want to make a habit of, you know, causing conflict in restaurants because I'm a normal human being up to a certain point, at least. One of the reasons I would not get into a fight is because, yes, I don't want to face physical harm, but the other reason is that it's really unnecessary most of the time. It's not like if you were the strongest person in the world, you should be like, well, I'm not afraid to get into a fight at all. But there are people like that. It's very strange to me. In my hometown, I don't know if it's like this anymore, but every Friday and Saturday, people, not me to be clear, but there's a subset of people in my hometown that like get really excited to go to Pizza, which is a Canadian, mostly like Ontario pizza chain, and fight, because it's like right in the middle of like the club district. So you got like you got townies that have been out at the club. You got university students who are, you know, intoxicated and live in the region. You got taxi drivers. You got you know, various aspects of society all find themselves craving what humans crave: a slice of pizza at 1 in the morning at one of the only places open in the area. A lot of fights go down in that parking lot, which is hilarious. Also, like, I don't know if I say sad, but a little eye roll worthy, but also hilarious. People like really like put it on their Google Calendar. Get into a fight at Pizza on Saturday. Not Friday, come on. We got that thing, but Saturday, I'll be there. All right, well, and dude, this run is coming through, obviously. It actually never really got great, but to come out with the dub on a run like this that was very scary at the start is always a big deal. And that's 40 wins in a row for now. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I will see you next time. But do please click the like button if you enjoyed the episode. It's the single best way to support my content if you enjoy it and have enjoyed it for a long time. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.